Not your average tabletop. Woohoo!
Welcome to Not Your Average Tabletop. I'm Zach,
I'm Mac.
and today we're giving our first impressions of Cities, which is one of the newer games from Devir. And this was one that I was pretty excited about, just from, I don't know, the cover. There's something interesting about it. And then I think I watched a playthrough, and it just looked like kind of a simple drafting game, but then kind of, it's one of those where you're, I don't know, having to determine what's most important to you.
Small choices.
Small choices, but kind of a thinky playground, so to say. It's a Phil Walker Harding game, and Steve Finn, I believe it is. I think I know Phil Walker Harding has done a lot of filler games, and I would say this definitely kind of fits into that kind of vibe.
This does.
Where, yeah, you could probably play this in between a couple heavier games if you want a little bit of a break. It's still a bit of a puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, so we played this one once, and I was pretty happy with the experience. I think this one, even though there is that simplicity to picking, just drafting the different things and kind of seeing what happens and then trying to meet certain goals, I think it works pretty well for how simple it is.
Yeah, I agree. I think there was a lot of unique elements to it, kind of, but because you're limited to like one of each thing per round, it definitely makes it interesting because you need to go for what you need and assessing that over and over again.
Mm-hmm. And then just kind of knowing too, like if we played it at 3 players, so at 4 players, I think there would be even a bigger level to this, but kind of when you see like one person has already gone in one of the rows, one of the options, because you're either kind of drafting tiles, drafting these buildings that you can stack on each other,
Scorecards.
the scorecards, and then other tiles that go on your tiles. So you get one of each of those each round, and kind of, yeah, if someone takes whatever row they decide to first, then you at least know, like, okay, they can't go back there again. So then if you see, like, oh, the other person, like in the 3-player game we played, it doesn't look like they probably want what I want, so then you can kind of hold off on that one a little bit. I like that, a little bit of thinkiness to it. I think it'd be even more interesting in 4 players, where you're kind of trying to see, like, okay, now I've got to manage 3 other people and what they would want and what they wouldn't want. Like one time, I think even in our 3-player game, I was like, I could take the buildings first, but I don't think anyone actually wants those. And then you ended up taking them. I'm like,
Yeah.
I did not expect you to take them, so that kind of threw off my plans a little bit.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, and I think that's just it. Like, you have to go for what you most want, and if you can't, like, you might want multiple things, but you can only choose one. So if somebody else takes your secondary option, you've got to hope that your first option was right, because otherwise you might be giving up points in the long run.
So yeah, I think this will be for people that kind of like the simpler games and really like drafting in general, and then trying to utilize the drafting elements in order to fulfill contracts or different things that are in a kind of puzzly way. Kind of design your city in a certain way, or get certain rows of things together, certain heights of buildings and stuff. Just trying to manage that the best you can to score the most points. I feel like that kind of almost efficiency, almost not kind of thing.
Yeah.
Not quite as much as maybe some other games.
Not quite.
But yeah, I think I could see this one sticking around and maybe being one that we would take out a little bit more often than some of the other ones. I think after one play, I'd put this one for me at about a 7.5. 7.75 potentially. I could only see the potential for it to maybe feel a little bit repetitive in the later rounds, as you're kind of stacking everything out. But I think it seemed like, at least in one play, just about the right amount of rounds in order to kind of complete some of the things you wanted to try to score and stuff. Felt like just about the right amount. I don't think if it would have been any longer, I think then it would have felt long. But I could see where maybe sometimes when you're playing, the last couple rounds could make it feel a little long.
Yeah, I mean, I think it depends, too. I think they did a good job with the tile disbursement of, like, what you can get on a tile, because I found that, like, the tiles that I was getting were good, but then I didn't have enough variability in building color, so then it was a struggle to try and figure out how do I take a tile, how do I take buildings, if the buildings don't come out with the exact right color, that type of thing at the end of the game, so I kind of felt like I got a little gridlock trying to figure out how best to lay out the city with those limited options then at the end. So I agree. I think it will be interesting to see kind of where it goes. I probably would give it a 7 for us. I think you're right. Like, it has all the staples to be an excellent filler game in our collection. And I think it'll be probably a strong one. And I don't know that we've really had a real strong filler game come since, like, Sunrise Lane.
Yeah.
I think is probably the most recent, like, real good filler game that we've gotten. So
Yeah.
I can see this one being a real good one, and probably one that people, not just us, are going to like to pull off the shelf.
Yeah, I'm hoping that this one will be a hit with a lot of people that like those kind of simpler, almost could be family weight games with just kind of a little bit more thinkiness to them in certain aspects.
I think in spirit, it's very similar to Azul. Not really at all in gameplay, but like in that one, you're weighing out like how many tiles do I take, which ones do I take, etc. Of like, at least when me, you, and Jesse play, it feels like, what is he gonna take? What am I gonna take? Kind of a thing to get max score. Yeah. Not really in gameplay at all, but like just spirit. I feel like
maybe. If that's how you feel, I did not feel that, but if you felt that, that's a valid thought. I guess I don't know exactly. It's like you said, gameplay. I would not say it was too close, but I could
like
see
weight and like thinkiness.
I guess that's so. Right. That's probably right. The thinkiness of it, for planning ahead and stuff, is very similar in that way. So yeah.
Thanks, babe.
I'm just hoping the difference, because it comes with, so the reason I think it's called cities is it kind of comes with this scoring condition depending on which cities you're using that you're trying to work towards or accomplish first, because whoever gets it first gets the most points, and then second most and third most. So it'll be interesting to see how different those are from game to game, since kind of the tiles and stuff and the scoring cards are always the same. There's exactly the right amount to play a 3 or 4 player game. I don't remember what it was for a 2-player, but so you're going to see those same ones. So I hope the cities themselves are enough variability. Otherwise, I don't know if I don't really want to say that it needs expansion, because I don't think it does, especially after one play. But if you played this a lot of times, like 20, 30 times,
sure.
Maybe then too you'd be able to see like, okay, I'm gonna hope that I get these goal cards this time and try to do this kind of strategy. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how it does in the long term.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it'll be interesting because I think after a few gameplays you'll be able to figure out which scorecards, when they come out, do you need to grab immediately. And I feel like the game is going to shift away from like going for the community endgame goals and stuff to like completely spamming what you have in your hand for points.
Yeah, maybe.
So we'll see.
We will see. But if you want to see kind of what all the components in this game look like, you can check out our unboxing video. It should be going up alongside this. Otherwise, subscribe for future content. Give us a thumbs up if you like the video. Otherwise, we hope to see you on the next one. And as always, don't forget to keep on nibbling on our content.